Fans TV, this is your post-match analysis video for last night's 3-2 defeat on the road against league leaders Leicester City, runaway league leaders Leicester City. We're going to get into that shortly. A blistering start for the Lions, however, we was pegged back and undone by some good football, yes, but also, once again, the masters of our own downfall. As always, let's kick off the show by taking a look at the 11 that Joe Edwards picked to start the match. And the gaffer once again rang the changes, and I do not blame him for this. He's bringing people in, he's giving them the opportunity to impress, and they're letting themselves and him down. And we just can't find any form pretty much anywhere in the side. Lots and lots of players badly suffering from a loss of form. So last night he went with this. Matija Sarkic kept his place in goal, and unfortunately, gaffer, this is one of the criticisms that I do have, is that you talk about form and players giving you a reason to pick them. Well, Bart done exactly that, had no reason to drop, and you've done that, and now Sarkic has cost us 2 games in a row. It was a flat back 4 in attack, I felt, but when we defending, we went to a 5 at times. But I can't put both formations on the screen, so we'll stick with this one. 4 at the back, Murray Wallace, left back, Ryan Leonard, right back, Wes Hardy and Jake Cooper alongside him, skippered the side. George Saville and Alan Campbell were in the centre of midfield. Duncan Watmore was in a 10. Tom Bradshaw was up front. And Norton Cuffey was on the right. And George Honeyman on the left. It's not too dissimilar to the team that I said in the week that he should go with. Bradshaw come back in, Saville come back in, Honeyman come back in, Cooper come back in. I just would have liked to have seen Leonard put in that midfield. And I'll go into that more tomorrow when I cover the preview for a massive 6-pointer against Huddersfield at the Den on Saturday. Okay, once again, yesterday I did a fairly extensive full-time reaction, so I want to try and be careful and tread careful to not cover the same things again. So I have looked at social media, and there's a few things that I want to cover and give my responses to and my opinions on before we do once again delve into the game action. But I won't go too far and deep into things I've already covered yesterday. Like I said, right, first and foremost, Leicester City, okay? Multi-billionaire owner, Premier League champions not too long ago at all. Relegated from the Premier League only last season. Currently 11 points clear of Leeds in 3rd place. £50 million worth of talent on the bench last night. That's not even including the players that weren't available in Makatia, Iniacho and Vardy. And last night was the first time all season that Leicester had conceded 2 goals in the league all season. The only other time they conceded more than 1 goal this season was in a 3-1 defeat to Liverpool in the League Cup 3rd round. So first and foremost, I think we need to take a little bit of stock. I am the first one to criticise us after a performance like Saturday, like we got at Cardiff, because I don't care where Cardiff are in the league at the minute. They're not going to be there when it comes to the crunch. They are not a good side. We was bad, but better than them, and we should have put them to bed, and we didn't. Last night, we started like a house on fire against a very, very good, confident, and in form side. I think, as I said, we need to take a little bit of stock and sort of realise what they've got in their bench is worth more than our team 3 times over. You know, exciting young manager. And this is basically a holiday for them. This is a 10-month holiday. They will be going back to the Premier League. I'll be amazed if they don't. So I'm not sure what people were expecting to happen last night. Sometimes you just got to hold your hands up and say that this team's better than us. They're a level above us. They're a class above in structure of their club as well as the players on the pitch. And we are punching a bit when it comes to teams like this. Not every team in the Championship, but definitely when it comes like this. And I thought the Lions done as well as they could until Leicester eventually found second gear. And then after that, we didn't see a lot of the ball at all, did we? So I always say this, a neutral sees that 3-2 and probably thinks we all done all right. We did do all right, but we was unfortunately outclassed. However, the goals we conceded, we wasn't pulled apart. We was pulled apart, but not in the final, with the final shot or the final ball. We were sort of masters of our own undoing there, and that's the goalkeeper, but I'll get onto that later on. Moving on from what I want to tell you a little bit about Leicester, and hopefully we can let that sink in a little bit. We're going to move on to, and I don't want to keep bringing this guy up, Gary Rowett. Again, people saying, oh, see, we want Rowett in. Who wanted Rowett out? I'm going to say this as simply and as matter of fact as I can. Gary Rowett is no longer the manager of this football club. We all know that. Gary Rowett no longer wanted to manage this football club. Whether he felt underappreciated, maybe he didn't like our fan base. We know he didn't want to be away from his family. But for whatever reason, himself and the club drew a line under it, and he left the club. Gary Rowett, I'll say it one more time, does not want to be the manager of this football club anymore. He was not sacked. Okay, that is a fact. He was not sacked as our manager. And people saying that wouldn't have happened. So we've won 3 out of our last 28 games at the Den. Okay, Joe Edwards has been in charge for 2 of those. Sunderland a 1-1 draw, and Coventry a 3-0 loss. People saying 3-0 at home, 3-1 away. Gary Rowett was in charge when we lost 3-1 away at Norwich, and it could have been a lot more than it could have been last night. Okay, Gary Rowett was in charge when we lost 3-0 at home to Leeds, 3-0 at home to Swansea, 4-0 at home to Reading. Okay, that was in the cup, granted. But now, as time progresses and we've got the wonder of hindsight, I'm starting to think that Rowett's looked at this, seen the Leeds going to be stronger than ever this season, seen the team that he's got and the players that he's got, knows the club's got no budget, and probably thinks, for the good of the club, maybe, but definitely, and I may be completely wrong, but I'm reading between the lines, I'm giving you my opinions, for his own self and his own reputation as a manager, I think he's gone, time to go. Probably didn't help the fans getting on his back, and I'm accountable for that. But listen, let's be honest, what do you think it was? An 80-20 sway? Maybe more fans that wanted him to go. Now, I spoke to Kenny this morning. He was voice noting me. He has been watching the games. He's just not been doing the videos. He has just not really feeling it at the minute. But there you go, right? That's down to him. He doesn't get paid to do it anyway. So he doesn't have to do it if he doesn't want to do it. But we still talk regularly about the games. And Kenny said something to me this morning that made a lot of sense. A lot of sense. He don't always talk sense, but on this occasion, I'll give it to him, okay? Now, he may not have explained it in the most subtle terms in the world, but I'm going to tell you what Kenny said, and I couldn't agree more. He said, Gary Rowett had a bag of shit, okay? Sorry to the players. Kenny's words, not mine, but I do back him. Gary Rowett had a bag of shit. And to mask the smell of that bag of shit, all he kept doing was double bagging it. And he masked it very well over the last 2 years to not let the smell out and not let everyone see how bad that smell was and what was actually inside. Okay, so I'm now on board with Kenny, with what he said, and me and Kenny both wanted Rowett out for a long time. However, you have got to give him credit. He probably did the best with the players that he had towards the end, okay? He had 5 years to get his own players in, and again, I'm not blaming Rowett. Budget could be a big part of that at the club, and they're just, there is no funds. Not unless Husky come and buy the club. They're currently on the missing list from the Den anyway. I won't go into that. But look, okay, so Joe Edwards now has come in. He's got that bag of shit, and he's prepared to open it up and sift through it and have a look what's inside and pick the good bits out, get rid of the bad bits, and probably add a few extra bits to make it smell a little bit better than it already did. And now I'm going to move on to Joe Edwards. People keep saying, trust the process. That's all I keep saying. Trust the process. Trust the process. Now, what does that even mean? Trust the process. It means if you're currently in bad times and you're in a bad run of form, have faith, because we've got a clear plan going forward to get us out of this and turn that around. So trust the process is all I keep seeing on social media. And as I said last night, my full-time reaction, I said I liked Edwards, said I was on board with him being the manager, and people said to me, well, what's he done? Why do you like him? And that's an absolutely fair question. So here's some of the reasons why I do love the new manager. I like his ideas. I like the fact he wants to play on the front foot and take the game to teams. I like the fact that he's got a new age, fresh approach to the game. And I like the club as well for deciding to go with him and taking the chance. So just cutting away from that a minute, because I have actually made notes today, because I want to get all my points across and I'm going to answer the questions that I've been asked. And if they're more, as I said, more than warranted people asking these questions, I run a fucking fan channel. So I'm happy to discuss it. I love it. That's why I do it. But look, moving off that a second, managers like Gary Rowett, Tony Mowbray, Gary Monk, Steve Bruce, Alex Neil, these are a dying breed now. They're dinosaurs. They're going to go out of football. Used to be back in the day, you had managers for years, Alex Ferguson, Arsene Wenger, Brian Clough, and they were man managers. They managed the whole club top to bottom. Football's evolving, and now you're going to see all these managers, in my opinion, go out of the game, and you're going to see more Liam Mannings, you're going to see more Steve Coopers, you're going to see more Joe Edwards, all coming in and implementing this new way and this new style of play. Young managers that have coached from very young, a very high level, but not really particularly played the game themselves. Bonus if they have, but a lot of them seem like they haven't. And this is why, again, I will back Edwards, because he's coming in and he's not afraid to change the face of this football club. He must have known the task at hand. He said before he got the job, he'd been to watch Mill a lot this season, so he knew what he was walking into. And everyone knows, even if you haven't seen our games, what type of fan base we are. We demand the best. We will fight and kick bollock and bite and spit feathers for it. And we absolutely won't take no shit or a lack of effort. So that's why I like Joe Edwards. Finally, another reason I like him is because I like everything that he says. Can he deliver on that? Saying it's one thing, implementing it is definitely another. But I do believe he can, but I believe he needs time. Only issue I've got with this, and it's going off game a little bit, is I'm not sure there's a budget there. I don't think there's going to be a very active window in January. Well, it isn't, because Edwards has already said that. Come the summer, if we get safe, and it's going to be a fucking horrible season, I think, this season. I think this is going to be it now this season. I think we'll get out of it. I think we'll be safe, but I don't think it's going to be a very exciting. We're going to get tonks at times, and we'll nick results at others. But I love what he says. Can he implement it? I think he can, but it waits to be seen exactly how much budget he can get in the summer, because we're going to need new players, whether he wants them or not. Some of these players, especially at the back now, are aging a lot and they can't go on forever. So for me, that's that covered. One final word on Rowett is, I will say fair play to him, like Neil Harris did, for going when he did, whether it was the club, whether it was him. I'm pretty sure it's more his decision. What he hasn't done is walked out and left us in the shit in March. Okay. I don't think he wanted it on his resume. I don't think he wanted it there for us to be in a dogfight in a relegation zone and the club have to sack him around January, February, maybe even March. And I think that's what would have happened. I think it was only going one way. It had gone stale. And I think you can only protect that bag of shit for so long before the smell eventually gets out. So fair play to Rowett for walking when he did, because we've now got plenty of time to get this sorted, just for now to stay in the league. Getting it sorted long term and changing the face of the way the football club plays, that's going to take a lot longer. But I will happily put myself on the line here and say I think it is going to happen. I really, really am confident. I've just got a good feeling about it in my gut, but also it's definitely the way to go to evolve the football club on the pitch, in my opinion. Okay, so moving on to the game. Look, I thought it was a brilliant start. We was on the front foot. Leicester, yes, they hadn't got going, but we was intense. We was in their faces. We was at a very good shape coming up the pitch, and we had a box in every opportunity. We tried to play very high. We had created chances, and we scored a really, really good goal. It's actually a wayward pass from Leicester. Murray Wallace gets that above his man, wins the header, heads it to Duncan Watmore. I thought pace and endeavour was brilliant last night, and he has to start again on Saturday against Huddersfield. I think he'll start him and Fleming Saturday, but I'll cover that, as I said, tomorrow. Yeah, as I said, Wallace's header turns him over. Watmore's in by the corner flag, puts it back to Murray Wallace, who just dummies, shimmies, gets it on his right foot, puts a great cross into the box, and Tom Bradshaw loves that run across the box. A flick header into the side net in the far corner. It's an absolutely brilliant goal. I rest my case on Tom Bradshaw. And another thing on Bradshaw is he scored 17 goals last season. I've said that a million times, boring myself with it. However, Zian Fleming last year got 16, I think, something like 15. They got something like 31, 32 goals between them. Fleming has not been firing. It's not just Fleming's fault. The whole team have not been at it so far this season. However, with that cut off of his supply from Fleming, because he was the link, obviously it's taken a lot of his service away, Bradshaw, in my opinion. But look, he'll get in those positions, and if you can get the right service to him in those positions, in and around the box, then he will score your goals. It's a brilliant header. And we just looked, even when he scored, he runs off and he gives it fucking one of them, come on. But the players all run over and they all look, they're not going mad. They're just like, they look on it still, even when they've scored. And then after that, I thought we'd done all right. We contained them and we come forward again on the break when we could. That pace with Watmore there to be our man to run us out those positions definitely works. And Norton Cuffy's got pace as well and trickery. And Watmore again slots in Bradshaw. Bradshaw gets through. He's got, I think it's Vestergaard shielding him wide, shepherding him further and further away from the goal. And Bradshaw's shot goes into the side netting. But first 25 minutes for is really good. Then Leicester start to kick in gear a little bit. Again, we're getting stuck in. We picked up a few bookings by this point. I think we got about 4 or 5 in the end. By the end of the evening, by half time, 3 of our centre halves had been booked. Leicester put a couple over the bar. Wes Harding probably should have gone off because the flip flap that does him and gets him into the box in a situation in the one-on-one, it's a Stonewall penalty every day of the week. Wes Harding would have been booked for a second time there and been given a red card. So we get away with one there. But listen, fuck me, how many times have we not got away with one? Sunderland at home 2 weeks ago. That's a prime example. We never get ref decisions. So on this occasion, yeah, never mind. Leicester won the game anyway, and we absolutely got away with one. Sarkic in the first half, I'm going to big him up before I absolutely fucking chop him down. He done well. But he didn't do brilliant, okay? He did his job as a goalkeeper, which is catch the ball, come for crosses, claim them, be dominant. He looked a lot more vocal last night as well. Camera cuts him on a one shot a few times, and you could see him doing a little bit of motivating and a little bit of organising. And then that's it. It's half time. We needed half time. That's what half time's there for, to get us in, to regroup, for the gaffer to give a few words of wisdom. I absolutely am pretty 99% sure his talk would have been, go out there, they're going to continue to come even harder than that because they're going to have a rock out their arse from Maresca, and then they're going to come at you. And then for the first 10 minutes, don't concede. All right? Keep it tight. No silly tackles. We've got 3 or 4 on yellows. And then we go from there. Okay, Danny Mack come on at half-time for Murray Wallace. One, because I think Muzzle was getting roasted, and that wasn't a dig at Murray Wallace. Their right winger was fucking really, really good and really, really quick. And Murray Wallace couldn't even get sort of near him in the time that Harding was near him. Harding was near him, but Murray Wallace was distance between him and his man at times was frightening. So Danny Mack comes on for his first game under Joe Edwards, played left back, thought he'd done all right. But look, our sponsor, Mr. Regal Elevator, said it in his video at full time. He said Edwards would have tried to tell him to last 10 minutes and they couldn't last 10 seconds. And within 5 minutes, we are out of the game in effect, in all honesty, realistically. I know it's only 2-1, but I think we all know that at that point, it was done and dusted. There was no way for us back into that game. Not after the sheer amount of possession that they'd had. Not now they got in, not even second, probably third gear and fourth gear, and they was looking to kick on with the fans behind them. But despite them dominating possession, despite them popping us around, they didn't actually properly carve us open and force Sarkic into something I would say, fucking hell, what a save. Well, the keeper's kept us in it there. There was one at the start of the second half where it comes across and he gets back and he parries it 2 hands. Just before they scored. But the goals that they scored, again, as good as Leicester were, are our own doing. And they're not our undoing. They are, especially the first one, the goalkeeper's fault. I don't care if we paid 1.2 million for him. He's not up to it at this stage. And he's now, confidence is big for our team, for all players. But I think strikers and goalkeepers are the most crucial ones that can or cannot suffer with confidence. Because if a striker don't score for fucking ages, it just goes on and on and on. And it's on their back. Goalkeeper, you've got no confidence. I've been there. You fucking don't want anything coming at you. Especially a wave of the fucking talent that Leicester had. Top of the table. Very, very good side. But again, they haven't really undone us. It's a ball into the box. He comes, and in real time, I thought we'd actually gone for it. He actually comes, realises what he's done, and he stops. The defender, and this is where I will pick Kenny up if you're watching, Ken. I praised you earlier, mate. Kenny said the first goal wasn't down to the goalkeeper. He said he wouldn't have got there. He said he shouldn't have come, but he wouldn't have got there anyway. Mate, if he stands on his line, it comes off the Leicester player's head, hits his shoulder, goes up, absolute powder puff. It's in the air ages. If he's in goal, he just literally takes a step to his side and catches it like that with the W. Still there. Still got it. Fucking ain't got it. Wish I did. Look, that is down to the goalkeeper every day of the week. And you see him and Harding having words, and I keep blaming Sarkic game. He's always turning around looking to blame someone. Jordan Archer used to do it. But I've watched it back again. And Harding's obviously said something to Sarkic. And Sarkic went, I know. So he's held his hands up at the wrong time. Fair enough. And I can respect that. I've been there as well. And you see it, down the years, a good goalkeeper that will see a storm is being weathered and think, right, I'm going to take responsibility. I'm going to come out. I'm going to fucking take the next cross. Kill the tempo and try and fucking get my team up the pitch. So fair play to Sarkic because that's exactly what he's tried to do. But he should have just fucking stayed where he was. Now Leicester are back in it. As we know, when we concede, sometimes we capitulate and they come forward again down the left-hand side. I can blame him a little bit less for this second one. Even the Millwall commentator said the goalkeeper's going to be disappointed. His positioning is all wrong. He's so far towards his front post. He's not. As I said last night, my full-time reaction, you've got to be side on there, and so you can move your feet across. He's just literally turned and faced the geezer, and it's a dolly cross again that's gone over to the back post. I think it's a miss-hit cross, to be honest with you, and there, guys, nods it in under the bar. But again, he's got half a chance if he's side on, and as he moves his quick feet. But he doesn't, and there's questions to be asked as well, why there was a Leicester player standing on the fucking goal line unmarked. Cooper, I think, was the nearest one to him. But there you go, 2-1. And then after that, I actually said, in the live, the best we can hope for now is that they fucking take their foot off the gas and we try and nick something last 10 minutes. It didn't really happen. It did to a point. It wasn't as ambitious coming forward. But the nail in the coffin, again, calamity. Cross comes in. Hardy tries to slide or trap the ball. I'm not sure what he was trying to do. Not blaming him for it. Slips away from him. One shot is blocked. Comes out. Lands at George Honeyman's feet. As I said, Honeyman's got endeavour. He's Millwall-like. He puts in a shift. But he tries to go dribbling around players in the fucking penalty area. Gets taken off him. And a Leicester player shoots. Another Leicester player turns his back, hits him on the arse. Flies past Sarkic, who dived the wrong way. That one wasn't down to Sarkic. That one's probably down to Honeyman and just the team in general at this point who are just done, really. And I can see why people are frustrated now because we're 3-1 down. We was 1-0 up. But I'm going to urge you to look back at what I've said at the start of the video. Yes, it's frustrating after a very good start and getting an early lead for once that has happened. But in all honesty, if you wipe that game again and started again tonight knowing nothing, you probably think that Leicester are going to win the game. And they did by 3-2. Eventually, substitutions are made, a lot of like for like. I just think it was legs. When you're chasing the ball for that amount of time, over 90 minutes, you're going to lose your legs. And players come in like for like. Still no Romain Esse. Don't know what's going on with that one. I don't really mind it because I just think, it's going to kill him and Amaku's confidence. I don't think either of those come on last night. I'm pretty sure Amaku didn't either. But we get one back right at the death. George Saville, corner, front post. Their keeper was good with his feet, could really play. At one point, one of their players knocks a back pass in the first half, like a Peter Kay type, fuck off. And it's come down, he's come out his area, chested it like that, and he just killed it stone dead with his left foot and pops out to his fullback. So as we know now, all these goalkeepers very good with their feet, but maybe not all so good with their hands. And he showed that their goalkeeper because he's dropped the corner as it comes in, and Kevin Nisbet's on the line, smashes one home. So both strikers have scored, and we've got the team directly below us on Saturday. Is it time to try and change the formation? I don't think he will, but I would. But look, as I said, that's another video for another day. We lose the game by 3-2. I'm pretty sure that's everything that I wanted to cover. I know for a fact the second I finish recording, I go, fucking hell, I didn't say that. So if that does happen, I'll put it in the comments below. I have been reading the comments below, and I'll try and respond to a few of you. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow for a Huddersfield preview. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.